Hello and welcome to this week's edition of TB3 Sports Talk. It is episode 49, one away from the big milestone, the big marker, episode Big 50. We got some special
The golden
things.
episode.
Yeah, like maybe some confetti we were saying next week on the episode.
I'm doing it for sure now.
All right, we'll get some confetti. Let's go. But yeah, this is a huge episode in its own right. 49 is no slouch because we got trades upon trades upon trades upon trades for the Rays. 7 deals. 7 deals from the Rays. A bunch of people moved. Some fan favorites gone. But are the Rays better off without these people? I mean, we're going to let you know coming up right now. How you guys feeling just initially after the Rays trade deadline?
I mean, I don't want to get into the meat and potatoes yet because, if you hear my take right away, you'll just turn off the episode, So you got to stay and listen for more of it. But, I'm leaning towards that I think the Rays might be a little better off.
Maybe. We'll see. Joel?
It's a double-edged sword. It's a good riddance kind of moment for me, but this is a special one for you YouTube people. I'm going to go grab something.
Oh, this is good. No, this is
Is this?
If you're listening,
he said
on Spotify,
I'm going to be mad about this.
No, this is very important. If you're on Spotify, click on the YouTube video because this is really sad. This was found at the game by Joel.
I found this in left field on Friday night. You know what left field is on Friday night?
It's a Randy Land sign. Wow, it's upside down, Joel. Okay, now
always Randy.
All right, show it to the camera right side up. That's sad.
It's always going to be Randy.
Isn't that sad, guys?
That right there.
It's sad. It's really sad. That's a perfect transition to our first trade because you guys heard it. If you guys were living under a rock and your only way you get Tampa Bay sports news is through this podcast, we got bad news for you. Randy Arozarena.
It'd be pretty crazy in this day and age if this is where you get your news from. We're very up to date. We always retweet it and repost it. But if you only listen to the episodes, I mean, man.
Yeah, if it's Instagram, that's where you get your news from, then that's fine. But YouTube, that's crazy.
Good for you, honestly. Like, if that's...
I envy their lives.
Social media cleanse. They're probably out touching grass.
Mm-hmm. They are touching
living life
much
to
grass.
the fullest, taking their shoes off and, walking down the beach.
Mm-hmm.
They're probably living their best life. But
yeah, the Rays, late Thursday night, even some would say early Friday morning. The Rays dropped the bomb. It was very late.
I was going to bed.
I was in bed.
I see the notification.
I was asleep. I usually stay up late. I was crashed out because of work. I went to sleep. I didn't see it till I woke up in the morning. Randy Arozarena, a longtime Ray, a guy that's given us so many memories, was traded to the Seattle Mariners, a team that the Rays are in a race with. And he was traded for two prospects that were both at the single A level.
We won't use the word, but, sometimes you got to say it's a slap blank prospect.
Hey, but that guy was killing us. We played the slap D prospect with the Marlins, and he hit for the cycle on Sunday. By the way, fun fact, but Randy Arozarena to the Mariners for two prospects. One prospect was outfielder Aiden Smith. He is the Mariners' number 12 prospect. He has a 872 OPS on the single A level this year. He is known for his athleticism and his ability with speed and also power and hitting in the minors. But again, young player. And then a guy that a lot of Rays fans are very excited about. We also traded for Brody Hopkins, a right-handed pitcher who is the Mariners' 22 ranked prospect. He is also at the single A level, and this year he has thrown 83 and 2/3 innings pitched and had 95 strikeouts with those innings. Looking at some of this guy's video, he throws from a sidearm angle. I would say not full sidearm Kevin Kelly, but 3/4 sidearm, and he has an elite fastball for that angle. Looks good, but he does look like he's screaming Tommy John, if you ask me, looking at that delivery. But Paul Skeens-esque. Honestly, a very Paul Skeens type release if you're looking at this guy's release. But yeah, that's your full trade. There's also a player to be named later that we have not known, and it takes a long time in baseball for these guys to be named, so we shall see down the road. But maybe
I thought his name was PTBNL.
Oh.
Isn't that his name?
All joking
he's probably from Korea or something, I thought.
All joking aside, though, what if it is the catcher?
No.
I mean, can we dream?
We can dream, but we can't delusion. All right.
I mean, being a Rays.
I don't know. We've been pretty delusional on this show. That's like part of
being
it.
a Rays fan's pretty delusional.
Yeah,
so, like,
fair.
can't they delusion for something
Sure.
that could actually
Yep,
happen?
Harry Ford's the player to be named later. No, but in all seriousness, player to be named later could be a prospect, could be a draft pick. We shall see. But that's your return for Randy Arozarena, a player that was a fan favorite, a player that had a really his highs were about as high as you possibly could go. But when you look at his whole body of work, this guy, I mean, it's been an up and down thing for him, but he gave his all to Tampa. I mean, I think all of our hearts were a little bit broken when we saw the video of Randy in the left field hours after he was traded.
I was only like
soaking
3
it in.
sections away from that, and I had no idea.
Wow. He was incognito. But yeah, I think looking at the trade right now, I mean, how do we feel about this trade, this return, and losing Randy Arozarena?
Yeah, I mean, to start off, you're mentioning Brody Hopkins there. I think that's definitely a name to keep an eye on. I know Rays fans are excited, but it kind of seemed like from the national media, a lot of people were upset about this trade, giving the Rays pretty bad grades for it. I mean, I saw as low as like C minuses and D's for it. But I seriously think as a Rays fan, you should really be excited for this guy because I think this is a slam dunk trade, especially with Hopkins. I mean, like you said, he's got wicked stuff. If he was a left-handed pitcher, he'd probably be Chris Sale. They'd probably be who they're comparing him to. But not only is his fastball good, he has a devastating slider. Only things he has to work on right now are his command. But I think the Rays, what do they have better than everybody else that is very good pitcher, coaches, and I think they'll be able to fix this guy, get that command locked in, and he could be a very, very valuable piece for the Rays. So I think this is a lot better of a trade than at least the national media is saying. But on the flip side of it, it's very sad. It is very sad to see Randy go. How beloved he was amongst the fans here, and seeing him sitting in Randy land after he'd been traded, staying as long as he could to sign autographs. I mean, he had his daughter there. His wife, yeah, and he still took the time to take pictures, shake people's hand, sign autographs. I mean, that's a lasting impact on so many people's lives just doing that. You know, those kids going to the game will remember that forever. And that's a type of guy you still want to keep around. And it really stinks that it had to be him because I think we're missing out on a really fun guy and really valuable player to not only the team but really the community. But at the end of the day, baseball is still a business. I still think this trade had to be done. And I hate to give the hard facts, but I'm going to do it. Randy, in the last 3 seasons, has not had an on-base percentage over 100. 400. His defensive ratings have been very bad every single year. His best average in the last 3 years is 260. And you go, okay, that's not terrible, but for the type of caliber player we kind of compare him to, that's not getting the job done. And flash forward to this year, an abysmal start. And yeah, his numbers were looking great. They're on the uptrend, but as you can see the last couple years, how high were they really going to get? Probably not. And we call him the playoff king, this and that. That was almost 4 years ago now. What has he done the last 2 years? I love him to death, but you really have to look at the facts. He was not producing like he should have, or like the money we were probably going to end up paying him, or other teams will end up paying him. So that's my piece on it.
This is one of those trades where you remember that it's a person. Like I felt this way with Longoria, and I'm feeling this way with this trade now. And if you're not going to be able to get a top 10 prospect in this, like if you're not going to be able to scale back the players you get and get a top 10 prospect, this trade kind of upsets me in a lot of ways. So to get what we got for him, I think you might just need to ride the contract out. Now it's just like looking at it, just trying to remember. He's a free agent after the 2026 season, so maybe if somehow you were able to have his contract opening up the ballpark in 2028, maybe there would have been some incentive there. But I think this is just like the face of your franchise, and it's really sad to let him go for what we got.
Yeah, you know me, I'm the optimist of the Rays, but I, even about a week later, still pretty upset with this trade. I think this is by far the worst trade that the Rays made at this deadline, and I can be pretty easily convinced that the Rays fleeced someone, and I just don't think it's what happened here. I think Randy Arozarena, I do think his name and his status and his aura, if you will, is bigger than his actual results that he produces. I agree with that 100%, but this guy is still a productive player. I think he still could be a starter on a championship level team, and I don't think there's any doubt about that. And I just think if you're not going to cash in on a desperate team at the deadline, I mean, the Mariners are a team that are desperately begging to make the playoffs. Their GM is, if he doesn't make the playoffs, he's probably gone. And to only get 2 top 25 prospects from their system, not on the overall system, from their system, it's pretty frustrating to me. I think what frustrates me the most about this trade is the fact that Randy's contract wasn't up this year, it wasn't up next year. Like Joel said, it's up 2026. If this was a deal of, Randy, I don't think the Rays would ever extend Randy. I just don't think his agent is Scott Boras. Scott Boras is notorious for, asking for so much money, even getting his players in bad positions and not letting them sign until after spring training. But this wasn't a deal of extension looming. I mean, 2 years, man. And it just frustrates me that the Rays were so petrified to pay Randy $10 million in arbitration. I mean, I get Randy Arozarena might be overrated in the baseball community and stuff like that, and I agree with that. He's worth $10 million. I mean, I don't think there's any doubt. I mean, that's cheap for even the production he's giving, and I just think if you wait till this offseason or you wait till next year's trade deadline where his value is higher, or you wait until you have a contender and Randy's back to being Randy and you have the pitching staff you have, I'm still pretty frustrated with this trade. I just don't think the return was worth giving up Randy this early.
So I'm going to make a statement, but I also have a question. Did the Rays trade Kevin Kiermaier?
No. They let him walk.
So a player of Kevin Kiermaier's status, like he was probably the face of the Rays before Randy Arozarena, and he was terrible. He sucked. He was trash. So the
trash is a little harsh.
I would be willing to go like poop. He was poop. But we trade Kevin Kiermaier for nothing. I'm sorry, we trade Randy Arozarena for nothing. But we let the face of the franchise, Kevin Kiermaier, stay for his whole contract. I don't get it. I was just thinking about that.
And KK was getting that type of money.
He was getting a little bit of money.
That's what I'm saying. He was getting $10 million plus a year. Like that is a fair statement to make. I think. Yeah, I don't know what made Kevin Kiermaier such a guy where he just.
Of the race.
He was a glorified Taylor Walls.
Yeah,
I mean those blue eyes. Like I give him that.
He was, but I agree. Like it's definitely. You're not. Here's the thing. Baseball aside, I think this prospect return was not worth what Randy Arozarena is. Could Brody Hopkins be disgusting? Possibly, but he's the 22nd ranked prospect in the Mariners system. And I get they have a pretty good system, but still. And I mean, prospect rankings you can give or you can take, but I mean, you got Harry Ford right there looking right at you. And I mean, I don't know. I think the Rays could have gotten better. I think there was plenty of teams that could have gotten better.
I don't necessarily think they do. They would.
Also trade him so early. I mean, they traded him Thursday night. I mean, what hurt could it have been to wait and get while teams got desperate as other names came off the board? Randy was the first name to come off the board, and it wasn't a great return. But that aside, if you want to say, do you want to say something about the return before I get?
Well, I just think we kind of have a little bit of recent or. We have a little remember when bias, not recency, more of a remember when bias because, I'm sorry, this year Randy has stunk, and 1 month does not change how bad he's been all year. And I think the fact that the Rays got anything for him is a plus. And knowing the Rays, knowing their organization, knowing how they develop talent, I think this is still a good deal. The fact that they got 2 top 30 guys in the Mariners system for a guy who's batting 200. And again, this has been 4 years now where his numbers have gotten worse and worse and worse. He hasn't had the playoffs like he had in the World Series run. He hasn't had the seasons like he's had in years past. He hasn't. And his defensive rank is terrible. OPS, never been above 800. So I think the fact that we got anything for him is a win.
My closing thought on this is I don't think he should have been traded. He should have stayed at the face of the Rays. And I wonder if part of this was with all the Randy Arozarena and Diaz kind of rivalry there, if they just said, we choose Diaz.
That is an actual thing. Apparently, Randy Arozarena's wife and Yandy Diaz's wife did not get along at all. That is a story that's been circulating around, but I mean, I don't really want to speculate. But my rebuttal to your statement, Will, is you look at Randy Arozarena's and full season OPSs, right? 2021 was his best full season. He was 815 OPS. Then he had a 773. Then 2023, he had a 789. Okay, these aren't star OPS numbers. I get that, but I mean this is much better than the 713 OPS that he has right now. And I think if you were to wait for Randy and trade him in the offseason or at next deadline, I think his OPS would be similar to the 750s, the 770s, as opposed to the 710, where you could get more for Randy. Is just my thing.
Yeah, but it could be the exact opposite, where Randy was a flash in a pan, and he's even worse next year. We don't know that.
That's true.
It could.
He could be even worse, and we could get absolutely nothing for him, and then we just have to DFA him and get it nothing.
That is a strong risk, and that's obviously I think what the Rays were kind of afraid of, and I can see that taking that side of it, but you have 3 seasons of a 770 OPS or plus, full seasons. Randy was one of the most durable guys the Rays have ever had, too. Another thing about him, that he very, very seldom, good word, Colby, very seldom got hurt. But to me, I don't know. I think the return could have been better. I think they were a little bit quick to the gun with it, in my opinion. And that's the baseball side. The Rays organization side and fan side, I think, makes this trade, in my eyes, a little bit worse. And I know this is a business. Eric Neander, all the guys with them, they're not doing that. They're not worried about this. But it still is something we should talk about as Tampa Bay Rays fans. Randy Arozarena is probably the biggest name the Rays have ever had in their franchise. From what he did in the playoffs, from what he did with Team Mexico in the World Baseball Classic, I don't think there's really an argument. And I just think the look of trading Randy, it's a bad look. And the Rays have kind of been nothing but bad looks in the last year. I mean, you look at the Wander Franco situation, not the Rays' fault, still a horrible look. That's your franchise player. You can't do anything about it. It's not the Rays' fault he's a bleep word that likes children. I don't know if we can say that on YouTube. But it's not their fault, but it's not.
I'm not good. Yeah. Predator?
Okay, Predator's good. Yeah, there you go. But it's not their fault that happened to Wander Franco. Then you flash forward a couple months, you have one of the worst postseason crowds ever. And, I mean, everyone sees that. The announcers are making jokes. Everyone's making jokes. You see that, and it's just not a good look. You trade a guy like Tyler Glasnow, a big face, a big name. Again, I think the trade was good. I like the return we got for him. I'm not talking about baseball right now. I'm just talking about the seeing it as a Rays fan, as an outside. You trade Tyler Glasnow. You have a rough start to the season. You trade Randy Arozarena. You trade these other guys. What do a casual fan have to look forward to with the Rays? How do you...
The new stadium.
Yeah, well, that's another point. When you bring the Rays forward, right, there's a lot of diehard Rays fans, just like there's any team. You're going to have diehard fans. And the diehard fans like us and a lot of you guys that listen or follow us on Instagram or Twitter, you guys see the vision of the Rays. You guys have been around. You see what happens with the Rays. You see how they flip prospects. You see how a prospect can become a star player, a contributor, stuff like that. I get that. But you got to have casual fans. You got to have people that want to go to these games. I mean, I think I mentioned this on the show. I coach little kids, right? I coach elementary school, middle school kids, right? Basketball, all these sports. We got on the topic. It was summer camp. We were like, hey, what's your favorite baseball player? 90% of them said Randy Arozarena. Randy Arozarena. They crossed their arms, whatever they did. how do you expect to build a fan base if you just keep trading it away, star after star after star? Because the Rays have them, but they just don't keep them. And Randy was probably the biggest one of them all. And it's just frustrating for me to see. Like, I'm going to go to the games because I think the Rays got better at this deadline for their future and for potentially right now. And I get that. Not people aren't going to see that. People, I mean, you can even look at the Rays baseball Instagram comment section. Who do we have left to root for? Oh, this guy's going to come and he's not even going to recognize any of the faces on the bench. Stuff like that. Rays.
I've been going to games lately just to see who they have on their hype videos.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, I want the Rays, with the new stadium looming, to be able to bring in fans and bring in people to the ballpark. And you have to, at some point, hold on to some of these people that people love. There's no way. Stadium location might stink, but another big part that people don't talk about as much is the Rays just don't keep these star players that make, like, people will go to a baseball game because they like the jersey or something happened or it's a star player, like, oh, I want to go see Aaron Judge or stuff like that. You don't have that with the Rays, and they're killing their ability to build a fan base, and it's frustrating.
And so often the Rays and the Lightning are compared, and I think that's one of the strongest things that go against each other is the Lightning keep around their stars, and that's why you have such a large growing fan base.
Like, what is your stereotypical white girl that becomes a Lightning fan? What are they going to do with the Rays?
The key to
what jersey are they going to wear? They're not. There's no way for them to do anything and be a casual fan. There's just not. So that's my spiel, I guess. But yeah.
I mean, but it's not surprising. When have we ever kept a star?
Carl Crawford's the only one that made it through his whole contract.
Yeah.
Like him and Pena, like that core of Rays.
But we didn't make him Rays for lifers, is what I'm saying. Like, when have we ever kept the guy he's finished his whole career as a Ray? We just don't do that.
Never have, probably never will.
So it's not surprising. I think, yeah, it's hard to have casual fans, but, I mean, if you're a true fan at this point, you're going to be a true fan forever because you've seen some terrible stuff.
And I don't even know about that. I think, like, this trade deadline may have made a lot of, like, core fans kind of get a little tired. Like,
but I don't get why...
This may have been the straw to break the camel's back.
But I don't get why core fans would leave after this. This team wasn't winning.
It's not that. It's the moral of it.
But here's the thing about this team is this team had the moment of the beginning of last year that brought in a lot of casual fans, and that excitement and the buzz brought in a lot of casual fans. And a lot of those casual fans were able to stay, and they were able to see Randy Arozarena. They were able to see Isaac Paredes, Yanni Diaz, some of the pitchers. They were able to see those guys stay for another year, and they were able to stay on the bandwagon. They're like, and they might not quite get the Rays' way, but I do think Joel has a point. I do think this deadline could drop a lot of fans, and the Rays' team that already has not been good this year. But
it hasn't been good for. It's been the bottom of the barrel the last
gonna get worse.
Forever years.
But last year it was last year
it was a little better. It was a little better for the beginning half of the year.
It was for the majority.
But it's still bottom of the barrel in the MLB.
But I mean, they also only have 25,000 capacity. But I do think
because they couldn't open up, even if they opened up the upper deck for these games, they're not selling it out.
Last year, if they
even when the Yankees came to town, they didn't fill up the upper deck.
Yeah, but they got
this isn't a step in helping build the fan base.
But I think this problem is so easily fixable. It's not keeping stars like Randy. It's having an owner who goes out and spends money and wins you a World Series. Because casual fans are bandwagons. They don't care about the team when they're down in the dumps like this. They're not a true fan. And I think if you're a true fan now, this won't affect you. It didn't affect me. Them trading at the deadline, I'm not going to stop being a fan because of it. I love the Rays. I'll root for them if they go 0-162, and I'll be at the ballpark, 15 times out of the year. The casual fans... if they'll show up if you start spending money and win a World Series. I guarantee you the whole culture will shift from the Rays, and you'll never even hear anything about it. I've said this 100 times on this show. If you spend money and win a World Series, all these notions go away. St. Pete and Tampa, the argument where it should be goes away.
You're absolutely right.
Bandwagons or all the people who aren't Rays fans who've lived here their whole life, that'll change. They'll be the biggest Rays fans you've ever met.
That's the big.
Casuals will show up to the game. They'll sell out.
That's the biggest uphill battle we're facing right now, and that's only going to come when Stu Sternberg sells the team. I just think the battle of today, the battle of right now, was lost. I don't care about any of the trades, but trading Randy Arozarena was a major loss in the battle of trying to win Braves fans.
Yeah, I agree, and I agree with you, Will. I think your issue with Stu Sternberg and spending money, I think all cycles back to what we're talking about. Stu Sternberg won't spend money to get his free agent. Stu Sternberg won't spend money to keep a guy around that's been with the team a long time. And the Rays have to go panic mode, and they have to trade someone after one half bat of a year. I mean, it's the unfortunate truth.
You got to think about this. Core has not won for the last 2 years. Mm-hmm. They haven't won.
No, and I'm on your side on that, and I do agree. But I think they could have shook up the core while keeping the face in Randy. Is my only thing.
Yes,
they could, but like I said exactly, you can keep them. And again, I'm not saying I hated Randy. You probably can find episodes on the show where I absolutely love him, and I do. I do like Randy. But I'm looking at his numbers. They have not been great. 1 month is not going to fix it. And like I said, I'd rather get 2 prospects now who could help the Rays in the future than keep Randy, because it might keep a couple casual fans, and then on the short end of the stick, he doesn't get back to his old self. He continues to get worse, and we're just stuck with him for 2 years, and we get nothing from him.
But these prospects, as low as they are in the system, they're scratch-off tickets. They're scratch-off
tickets. They're 2
Yeah.
top 30s.
Yeah, but you know how many times a top 30 prospect doesn't even make the major?
I mean, like I said, that's better than nothing.
Yeah, but
that's better than nothing.
But
the nothing, though, is not having your core and having the people to get around this player.
And also, Randy Arozarena could have just been a legitimate back and had a bat and had a bounce-back season with the greatest pitching rotation the Rays baseball has ever seen next year.
That sounds like a dream.
He could, but he also could be fighting for Johnny DeLuca to play in the game because DeLuca's gotten better and Randy's continued to get worse.
And that would have been a fine problem to have. But it's the Rays' way that you can't have that problem, that you can't have a little bit of dead money on your team. And that's just the unfortunate truth. And it's just frustrating that the Rays can't take a risk with a guy. They got to just get rid of him before
That's what I'm
goes
saying,
bad.
but that's my point exactly. You want to fix that, you need new ownership.
No, and I agree. I agree with that
New
point.
ownership is on the way.
We are all for you on that one. It's just frustrating. This was just a blatant display of the Rays just being different than almost every MLB organization.
And remember this era when we do get new ownership. Stu Sternberg shipped back to New York where he can wear his Mets hat, and the Rays will never do this with the consistency that they're doing this over this last era of Rays baseball ever again. We'll have mid-high tier players like Randy Arozarena playing out their whole contract, getting team-friendly extensions. It's gonna give me goosebumps.
Well, we can only hope.
We don't have to hope. Like, I'm telling you, like, the Dex Imaging team's coming in here. They're buying this team. They'll make some minor big time contracts, and we'll be going to Rays games in St. Pete, kind of grumbling and complaining about St. Pete, but ultimately it's going to be they live happily ever after in St. Pete with the Rays and new ownership.
I don't want that. I want Jeff Bezos. Please, Jeff, buy the team. I'll do anything.
Yeah, and I want $1 million.
I'll be your Amazon slave forever. I'll work 50-hour.
Ooh, I don't think
I'll work 50-hour days at Amazon factory.
Oof.
You know how bad it is there? Like in there, like
it's like a sweatshop.
Yeah, like you don't get a bathroom break. You're standing all day, and they just, literally work you like a slave there in like their big shipping factories. It's pretty sketchy. But hey, I'll do it if you bought the team, because he could buy the Rays for like 1% of his net worth, and then just go hog wild. He could buy the Yankees and get all their players, put them on the Rays and the Dodgers.
While we're on the topic of this, did you guys see the video that Evan Longoria narrated about the Rays getting the new stadium?
I did.
Yeah, I did.
That video was heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Like, it was like supposed to be all, warm and fuzzy, and it's like, this is the problem with the Rays, though. It's like, had he ended on good terms, retired a Rays player, had we done all these beautiful things to inaugurate him and stuff, it'd have been great. But he's out here just throwing a first pitch and probably buying a hot dog and leaving. Like, that's the woo, Evan Longoria, we love you.
Well, it seems like it's pretty good terms if he did all that.
It does
I mean,
feel
if
like
you gave me $50, I'd do that, even though I hate your Rays.
I don't know if the Rays paid him, honestly.
I think they're on
he
good
did it.
terms, Joel.
Yeah, I think they're on good terms.
Okay, it's good terms in a way, but it's also like, I remember how that ended. That didn't end good. That wasn't like,
That's fair.
hey, remember that last play Evan Longoria made before he retired? It was, no, hey, remember when we traded Evan Longoria? Yeah, I remember that. I was in a 7-Eleven buying a freaking chocolate bar.
Wow.
What chocolate bar?
A Hershey's with almonds in it.
That's why.
And,
You
and my
cursed Rays.
brother pulled out his phone and said they traded Evan Longoria.
Wow.
And that was 7 years ago, and I'm still PO'd.
Man, that's a heartbreaking moment.
And now they're trying to be like, oh, but Evan Longoria narrated our video. Isn't that so cute?
Trading Longo, trades are part of baseball, unfortunately. Still
Not
your best
Not
player.
for faces of the franchise.
Hmm?
Not for
It
faces
is if you're
of
the
franchise.
Rays.
It is if you're the Rays, and that's the problem.
It's the Rays' way, and you just got to get used to it until they sell the team.
Yeah.
You can trade away the secondary guys, but you don't trade
does
Longorias.
build,
You
like,
don't trade Kiermaiers.
The hardcore Rays fans, I'll take a hardcore Rays fans over any other fan base in the nation.
They get it.
They
They've
get it.
been through the battle.
They've been to the battles. They know their stuff, and they aren't very loud at games is the only thing. But they know their stuff. They know ball, and
They're really good
loyal.
at memes.
Yeah, they are really good.
I'd
at
say
memes.
Rays diehards, like, the memes they come up with,
Yeah.
the posts, it's always hilarious.
They're great.
We have a lot of comedians on
We
our
do.
side.
We have a community, and the diehard Rays fans, they
Confederation.
know ball. Okay, and they
Like
know
like the Trade Federation.
Oh yes,
Star Wars.
Viceroy Gunray.
Dun,
Yeah.
dun, 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 dun.
Whoa, that was.
Who's the next guy? Because we can't go this long. on every
We are
single one.
going to the next trade. This one happened later on Friday. It was a guy we expected to go, Zach Eflin, going to a division rival in the Baltimore Orioles. And the return for Zach Eflin was Mac Horvath, an infield prospect who is the Orioles' 10th ranked prospect in their system. He is in single A level, and he can do a little bit of everything. He's a super utility player is what they called him. And then we also got Jackson Baumeister, a right-handed pitcher, the Orioles' 17th ranked prospect. He's single A level, 70 and 2/3 innings pitched with 91 strikeouts on the year and in single A. And he has really good fastball. Off speed needs some work, but fastball, and you can work with that. Then we have another prospect, Matthew Etzel. He is not ranked in the Orioles system, and he has an 840 career OPS in the minors. We got all of that for Zach Eflin. A nice little note is Zach Eflin in his first start against the Blue Jays with the Orioles went 6 innings pitched, 10 hits allowed, 3 earned runs. No walks, though, so classic Zach Eflin. So pretty mediocre start for him. He got some run support, so it was okay. But Will's looking something up, so I will give it to you, Joel. Joel, how do you feel about the Zach Eflin trade? To
Every
the
other
Baltimore
trade
Orioles?
on this board, I'm either good with or great with. We knew we weren't keeping Zach Eflin around. He's got a lot of money in the books for next year. So, see you later. The fact we got this many pieces is awesome.
Yeah, I guess the big, controversy is you're trading in division, but I do think trading in division might have gotten the Rays a little bit of a better return because, they got two top 20 prospects and another prospect for Zach Eflin, who, pretty mediocre year, so.
I hate Zach Eflin.
Oh, man.
I hate Zach Eflin.
The fact we got this all for Eflin and we got what we got for Arozarena.
Sorry.
It's a reminder of why it's sad. But great trade. It's not my money. Like, I'd love to pay Zach. I'd love to have Zach Eflin around next year, but oh well.
Good
I would
riddance.
love to have Zach Eflin.
Good riddance, Zach Eflin.
I'm the Zach Eflin hater, but he was like
Did you see his quote?
Mr. Machine.
Did you see his quote, Joel?
Wasn't it like it's nice to play with fans or something
Yeah.
like that?
Yeah.
There's so many players who leave and just like subtly try to get that message across in their next thing. I think it just butters up the Orioles fans, and they're like, "Yeah, Rays fans, am I
can
right?"
butter-
That's the lowest of low things you could ever do as a former Ray is talk about the fans, because you know what? There's nothing to cheer for you.
You're
Nothing
so
to cheer for. You absolutely blew it in the playoffs last year, and you either have a mediocre start where the bats can't hit and you still take the loss, or you go, oh man, this may be Zach Eflin's breakout game. He's pitching no-hitter. Bam, 6-run 5th inning. You give up 4 home runs in it too. He was no fun to watch. You don't say that. I lost my train of thought. I just can't stand this guy. You know what? Here it is. I'm putting a New Orleans Saints bounty on him. Any baseball player listening to the podcast right now, if you're in the MLB, I know there's a lot of you listening to the show, even if you're not on the Rays. We know you listen to the show.
Come on.
Hey, you wanted to be a delusional. You want to have a delusional show? Here you go.
The show.
I'm putting New Orleans Saints bounty on him. Okay.
This type of bounty is hit a home run off him and just pimp the living.
Hit a home run off of him, pimp it, maybe even do the bat flip, and it kind of gets in his way. And he has to like duck for a second, like do a double take. Like, whoa, was that just a bat that flew by me? Yeah, I'm putting the Saints bounty on him. Of Mr. Beast Box from Zaxby's, if you do something. Honestly, if you're a pitcher, just plunk him while he's in the dugout. Just say you slipped and find him in the dugout and plunk him.
That's the saddest part about the DH going to the National League.
Oh, man.
That is the saddest part.
Yeah, seriously. I miss pitchers hitting. It was funny. It was fun to watch, and when they hit nukes, it was amazing. It was must-see TV.
Today on the Rays broadcast, they were talking about Brian Anderson stealing bases. Like it was a good era of baseball. I miss it. It's only been gone like.
And it was
years.
you had to strategize, because you go, do we push this guy one more inning, or do we take him out so we get a batter in this scenario? Like, it was real strategy. Now you just go 1 through 9. 15 seconds, you got to throw a pitch or whatever. Next guy. There's no strategy anymore. Like, let me tell you, National League wildcard games are some of the best. Because you'd have pitchers, like, hitting home runs in a playoff game. You don't see it anymore, kids.
Those are the good old days.
We sound like unks on here now, man.
Baseball is better.
I got to rein you guys back in.
Yeah, but listen, thank you for the prospects.
You wouldn't know what the 1990s were like, man.
I wouldn't.
The 1900s.
Yeah, me and Joel were alive for like 2 years of it. But yeah, all in all, thanks for the prospect, Zach. Orioles got desperate, and we fleeced them. Mm-hmm. How do you say that one guy? Baumeister?
Yes.
Baumeister, he could be pretty special out of that. I think he's probably the best of the bunch. He was drafted 2 years ago? Or was he last year?
I don't know. I don't have this.
Let me look it up in like 2 seconds here.
Don't
let me keep going. Yeah, last summer in high A, he's got a 3.06 ERA. Yeah. His strikeout to walk ratio is like over 2, so he could be special. I know it's a long time away. I mean, he was a draft pick last year, but he is definitely the best of the bunch. I know the Orioles were pretty excited about him, and we fleeced them for a pitcher who's mid. He's mid, honestly.
Yeah.
And that's a fact. Don't say it's because he got traded or something that I'm hating on him. If you've watched this show, I've been his biggest hater. If there's any Zach Eflin hater, it's me. If there's none, I have died and passed away.
Yeah, this was a really good trade for the Rays. It's important to note that the Orioles loaded farm system. It's no secret. They just clone those white boys with long hair. And to get 2 top 20 prospects from them, 1 top 10, is a really good haul for a guy, like Will said, 4 ERA, a 3.5, and that was his best year last year. He's going to give you good innings. He's a 4-5 level starter, maybe a 3. Not on a playoff team, though. So it was good to get those type of prospects. I do think for Baltimore, I think they had a pretty bad deadline. I think people are going to kind of gas it up, but they didn't get Crochet. They didn't get an elite closer. I mean, Eflin is an okay starter, but he's not the guy you want to see getting playoff time. You want to see someone with some actual good stuff.
You better bench him for the playoffs. You better.
Yeah, that's not...
my warning, Orioles.
In my opinion, that's not getting you over the hump. Then they went for Trevor Rogers and got desperate again and gave up some prospects. So I would say not a very good deadline.
Didn't they get
for
a
the
batter
Orioles.
too? Was
they
it
got
Eloy?
Eloy Jimenez. So
They gave up a boatload for him too. I
Yeah,
thought, right? They were just going crazy.
And it's like I get they have the farm that they can kind of waste some stuff, but still, I just don't think those are the right guys to use your farm for. But I mean, to each your own. But I do think the Orioles had a bad deadline. I think this was a really good trade for the Rays. It was still frustrating at the moment because it was like we have traded 2 mainstay players and not gotten a single player above single A this whole deadline. But it got better. We got some players later on in the weekend. So yeah, all in all, I got a really positive outlook on this trade. I was a pretty huge fan of it. I think we're all in agreement on that.
He wasn't going to be on the team next year. That was a given. So we got a lot of players for him.
And then the third straight trade, this happened. The Rays went a whole day. They did not trade a single player on Saturday. Went a whole day without trading. Good on you, Eric Neander. You showed some restraint, but then you were back at it Sunday morning with maybe the best trade of the weekend as Jason Adam, TB3 and Rays legend, if you will, a guy we all love for multiple reasons, but mainly his lockdown innings. This guy was an elite setup man and closer. He did everything he wanted to, and he was a really good Ray. Got nothing but respect. I'm going to say nice things about him because he didn't bash the Rays fans after me being a Rays fan. But Jason Adam, I love him, great player. But, I mean, when the Padres are desperate and they're offering a haul like this for you, I mean, Eric Neander's got to get rid of a reliever. I mean, come on now. Dylan Lesko, a 2022 first-round draft pick, the Padres' number 3 prospect who has slid in to become our number 5 prospect in our system. He's in single A. He has already had Tommy John surgery, and he has elite stuff all around. I saw a Zach Greinke comparison for him, so I'm excited about that. This guy could be a frontline starter for the Rays 2026-2027 range. So new stadium, you might be seeing Dylan Lesko start opening day. And I'm not even joking about that. Great prospect to get for a reliever. And then you go down the line, you got Homer Bush Jr., an outfield prospect with a lot of athleticism, obviously some baseball ties with his pops. He's a number 8 Padres prospect, refilling that farm with the outfield spot, which was kind of thin for the Rays going into this deadline, but they have gotten some good prospects in that situation. And then maybe the most important and crucial pickup, JD Gonzalez, a catcher who's the Padres' number 12 prospect. He's at single A. He has elite defensive metrics, and maybe he can learn how to hit.
This can't hit?
He not right now, but this could be a Rays catcher in the future, and we all know what a struggle it's been for the Rays to develop a catcher.
I'll be Mr. Negative. If he can't hit now, he ain't gonna figure it out.
Who knows? He's really young.
They're both young. Picks like last year, and they're both in high A. So, I cannot believe this trade went down. That's like one of those where if you're the GM of the Padres, you probably woke up, went to the office, and the owner was sitting right there with a bunch of other people asking you why you did that. Jason Adam, if you want to get some tears out of me, I was really sad they traded him. But still, the haul the Rays got is unreal. Lesko is a real deal. A lot of people might see his ERA this year. It's not the best, but trust me, this guy.
It's his first year.
Yeah, it's his first year. He's coming off an injury. So disregard that. He is going to be very, very special. And Bush, man, 43 steals this year in the minors. Talk about that's something that the Rays need. Good base running, good clean base running. 43 times, he's doing it right. So I can't believe this trade went down. Rays definitely probably the best trade of the deadline. At least the last 5 trade deadlines. This has been the absolute best trade, I think.
Yeah, it's a great haul for a couple great prospects. Joel?
I love that, nowadays Tommy John surgery, having Tommy John surgeries thrown out as, this great add-on for a car. And it's like, oh, and by the way, he's had Tommy John surgery.
It is true, though. It does seem like now with the technology and the advancements they've made, getting Tommy John early is a plus for young pitchers, especially when he's got the type of stuff that Lesko has. I'm really excited about him.
I think this is a fair quantity of players versus the quantity of pitcher because I was looking at it. He has 3 years of control after the season. So right now they have 3.5 years of control on Jason Adams.
Well, that's good. That does make the trade a little bit better in their perspective, but it's a reliever, man. A reliever can flip and suck all of a sudden. I mean, Jason Adam was not very good before he came to the Rays.
Were you calling a bad Jason Adam year or Pete Fairbanks year? I can't.
Joel said
I want to say Fairbanks.
I called Jason Adam to have an electric year, and I feel like he kind of did. I did call that, but he did say Pete. I remember that.
Yeah, I know, and it was one of them, but it was like I would be more glad I said Pete right now. So if I said that, then good on me.
But yeah, it's just great trade, great guy. Gonna miss him, but I mean, you look at this. If you're Eric Neander, you have to make that deal. Keep your eye, Rays fans. I know not a lot of us look at a bunch of prospects, all the prospects, but we do look at some. Keep your eye on Dylan Lesko. This guy could be, like I said, 2026, 2027. You know, Taj Bradley and Shane McClanahan are grizzled veterans, and then you got Dylan Lesko coming in to be the young punch and the young stud of the rotation as the Rays go on for their third straight World Series title.
Pete Fairbanks has a 3.11 ERA right now and a WAR of 0.9, so he's been all right.
He's got like 21 saves too.
It's inflated. He had such a bad start, but he had the.
Yeah, but he's still been.
Hey, I was giving him grace. I wasn't going to tell you what his record is. It's 2-3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but he's
a reliever. You're going to get losses.
Yeah.
Are we good on that trade?
Yeah, we're good. Let's get to the kind of the one that's, I guess, more relevant now because we're not future tellers here. Or
yeah.
What's
so the next trade
fortune
on the
tellers.
list? The next trade on the list was Isaac Paredes, a Rays All-Star, the only Rays All-Star this year. Third baseman, the guy that just kept pulling those home runs. I'm going to miss that for sure. He was traded to the Chicago Cubs. Kind of a head-scratcher for the Cubs, if you ask me. For Christopher Morel, this is a major league talent. He is at the point where I wrote these notes down, hitting 199 with 19 home runs, 52 RBIs, and a 683 OPS.
I think it's 20 home runs now.
It is. He has hit 2 home runs in 2 games as a Ray. Love to see that. But some notes on Christopher Morel. This guy has all the talent. He is known for his great bat speed. It is the 97th percentile in baseball, one of the fastest bats you're going to get. And the Rays have had their eyes on that for a long time. He was rumored in the offseason to be a piece of a Tyler Glasnow potential trade to the Cubs. That didn't get through, but the Rays ended up getting their guy. And if you look at some of the advanced stats, Christopher Morel is hitting around 200, but his expecting batting average is 242. His hard hit ball percentage was 44.1%. Those are pretty good. He also decreased his strikeout rate from 31% to 24.5 this year, so that is also a good thing. Definitely a guy who can get on base while also slugging for power. Good to see that. He is not a great defender at third. He has already played second. He was DH. So he also can play a corner outfield spot. So it'll be interesting to see how the Rays use him. But he's flexible, not a great defender, but a good bat, a great personality. This guy and Jose Sierra are going to get
electric.
They're going to be awesome together. Like some of the home runs, like they literally met and came up with a handshake for a home run like immediately. They were already doing that the first game. Love to see that. The Rays also in this trade got Hunter Biggie, a right-handed reliever, and he's big league ready. He already pitched an inning for the Rays, a scoreless one at that. He looked good.
He looked really good.
Averages 97.8 miles per hour on his fastball, and it's got a little bit of run. Also 89.3 miles per hour on his slider. He has all the stuff to be a high-leverage guy. Get this guy with Snyder tack, and we might have just found our Jason Adam replacement just like that. We also got a prospect, T.J. Johnson. He is not ranked in the Cubs system, but that is your haul for Isaac Paredes. How do we feel about this one, gentlemen?
The reason why I love this trade so much is just all the fun little puns we can have with these guys. Like, Biggie's coming in. This inning's going to be no Biggie. We're like, we got good moral. We got good moral on this team because Christopher Morel's hot. And another side note that's interesting is, like, there's been a very long family tree going from Delman Young now to this generation in Christopher Morel. Like, he's the big guy. I'll use him as the place filler. But then on the Glasnow side of this family tree from Delman Young, we haven't seen any of those players yet. So it's going to be harder to keep track of this Delman Young family tree going forward. One day we'll make a post for that. I'm very excited. just the family tree of Delman Young's trade.
Yeah, and you look at the last tree branch of this trade tree. The Rays won it because Isak has produced very well for the Rays. And what has Austin Meadows done in lowly Detroit? Is he even on the team anymore?
I know he's got
hasn't played a lot.
Yeah. So now the Rays make another trade, and I think they won this one again. And like Colby said, make sure you watch episode 48. Colby kind of does a little statistical deep dive. Maybe Isak's numbers are starting to dwindle. Maybe it was the right time to trade him, and maybe the Cubs are going to look real silly. But look, I liked Isak. He was great. He was a bit of a short porch merchant. Because if you look at his statistics, if he played all the games he played at the Trop and you switch that to Wrigley Field, his stats drop significantly. He has 19 home runs this year. If he was in Wrigley, it'd be 11. So you got to look at where he was playing. Some of those numbers might have been inflated with the Rays. They have those little kind of short alleyways, and he was a left field short porch merchant. So... And you look at a guy like Morel, man, he's young, he's gritty, he's ready to go. And this is somebody the Rays have been looking at for a long time. We were talking about off the air. The Rays were looking to trade for trade Glasnow to the Cubs.
Yeah.
And Morel was one of the names they wanted in that deal. It didn't work out. Now they're able to get him this year. So I'm excited to see him. He's got a lot of upside. And his numbers have been great. I know the average isn't great, but like you said, his expected average is 242, and he's still hitting 20 home runs and, 53 RBIs?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
That's pretty good for who he is as a player. And, yeah, I think he will be fun. Maybe he'll be a fan favorite. And let's talk about Hunter Biggie. I love when you call me Big Papa. This man is Harvard educated, okay? And not just, he went to Harvard and he studied basket weaving. This guy studied physics. So he's going to outsmart you on the mound, and he's going to know where to put that ball, and he's going to strike you out every time. He is going to be a dog, and just another piece in that bullpen to make them so dangerous. The Rays always do this. They always find these guys. I think the Cubs are going to regret this in the long run. I think Biggie is great. That's a podcast guy right there. If we get him on the show, maybe quiz him, like make him do like a nerd quiz or something.
Right, there we go.
My biggest concern with this trade is I think this could be the final branch from this side of the Delman Young tree. Like I don't know if these guys are really tradable.
Maybe.
So
we'll see about Morel.
Well, you never know with the
Let
Rays.
me see when more else free agency is because
He's young. He's the same age as Isak.
It means like free agency.
Yeah, I think he has like 2 or 3 more years of control. But
perfect.
You look at this trade, I mean, like Will said, I think I saw the writing on the wall for this. I think this was a smart time to trade Isak Paredes. I know a lot of fans loved him and he was having a great year, but the advanced stats were not in his favor, and I do think that he was already starting to come down to earth, having a really, really cold July. And he had a great start, but he was cooling down. His OPS has gotten under 800. And another thing to note is when you look at Christopher Morel last season, Isak Paredes is around, I think, 100 games. Morel is about, excuse me, guys, I'm sorry, 105 games on the season, and both of them had very similar OPSs, averages, on-base percentage to Morel in 2023 and Isak Paredes in 2024. So both of them are capable of having this type of year, but I think you look at Morel, he played his games in Wrigley. The wind is crazy, blowing the ball in.
They call it the Windy City.
Yeah, exactly. And it's crazy. The wind trails and stuff like that are crazy there.
It's a very pitcher-friendly park.
Yeah, and Morel relies on the long ball. He relies on getting the ball in the air. So I think here in the dome, home sweet dome, Chris Morel is going to have a really, really good outlook with the Rays. And then we already said everything about Hunter Biggie. Just excited to see what he does with the Rays. Very, very excited to see. And, yeah, this one, I love this trade.
He's a free agent after the 2029 season.
Exactly.
We got him forever.
Yeah.
So, we could build up his talent and flip him for the next branch.
Morel land.
No, that didn't sound right.
Morel land.
Alex Jackson world.
I could get behind.
I really didn't realize how just beautiful Randy Lamb worked out until the trade. It's like you don't know what you got till it's gone.
Amen, brother. Anything else on this trade? Love it.
Love it, love it, love it, love it.
Next trade is a little bit more minor of a one. We have Amed Rosario, Rays legend. All 100 games he played with us. Traded to the Los Angeles Dodgers for the second consecutive trade deadline for AAA pitcher Michael Eflin. He only has a year left of control, 42 and a third innings pitched, 59 strikeouts, and he is 27 years old. So definitely an interesting trade. I think the Rays kind of took a flyer on Amed Rosario. It worked out. He's hitting over 300. Definitely limited, skewed stats. I get that. But to get anything for Amed Rosario, I think is a win, even though this was kind of like,
You're kind of doing the Dodgers a favor
a
here.
little bit.
They traded for him last year. They trade for him again. Look, this is one thing, and I hope I'm wrong. I don't think you're going to hear the name Michael Flynn as being a household name in the Trop. 27 years old, hasn't been able to figure it out yet. I don't know. I'm not really high on this trade at all. I still think, even though the numbers are skewed, you probably could have fleeced Dodgers a little bit. I mean, if they were that desperate to get him again, second time in 2 years, probably could have fleeced them a little bit more.
I thought we would have gotten more for this trade. Like at the beginning of the season when he came in, I was like, okay, easy flip at the end of the trade deadline, and we didn't get as much as I would have hoped. I would have hoped for a little bit of a higher value player.
Yeah, it would have been awesome to get in like a young. This would have been a perfect time to get like a single A prospect where you feel like just the low risk, high reward with that. So this was interesting that they got probably their oldest prospect out of all the trades for Rosario. But I mean, he's on a 1-year deal. He can't really play defense at a high level. He can only really hit lefties. So he is hitting 312, but the numbers are skewed. So I don't know. I don't know if we're overvaluing him or if the Rays kind of waited too long maybe, and this was the best option they had late in the deadline, because this was later on. This was Monday or Tuesday. I don't know. But thank you for your time, Amed Rosario. You did nothing but bring a lot of electricity and hits to the Rays. You were fire in April.
Yeah, thank you. You'll be a Rays legend forever in our hearts.
You'll be one of those guys where it's like, oh yeah, Amed Rosario, I remember that guy.
It'll be one of those like kind of like those late night finds, like
yeah.
Remember
that
when
one walk off he had where it was
random veterans in like unfamiliar places? It's like, oh yeah, he was a Ray. I remember that year.
That's fun. That year sucked actually.
Yeah, it was like terrible year. Maybe it was the year the Rays win it all.
Wow. Maybe it was.
Maybe we'll remember him forever. Maybe.
Why did he get a World Series ring? Oh, he was.
Yeah, maybe next year we'll be hitting him up in Dodger Stadium when we play there. Actually, I have no idea if we play there.
He'll be somewhere else. He'll be on like the Royals.
Yeah, Royals, maybe Reds or something.
I could see Reds is so good. Reds is a good pull. That's where he's going.
And it'll be like, hey, here's a rag, man. Yeah,
that'll be awesome. Next trade is the Rays trading Shawn Armstrong, the reliever, to the St. Louis Cardinals for outfielder in the major leagues, Dylan Carlson. Dylan Carlson on the season is batting 198 with a 515 OPS, so he will fit in lovely with these Tampa Bay Rays. However,
in left field.
And they called him up. He's already up.
Yeah, he was up. He was played today. He was 0 for 2 or 3. He did hit a liner, though, and got caught. But the thing about Dylan Carlson is he has all the tools. He was once a 13th overall ranked prospect in baseball, not in the Cardinals system, in baseball with some big other names. He's been in the league for 5 years, and just injuries and other struggles about being a Major League Baseball player have kind of held him down. However, this year he does have an expected batting average of 237 and expected slugging of 378. These are pretty good numbers for him over his year. He also is a switch hitter, so he has that flexibility. He's a good defender, and the Rays like that. And another good note is the Cardinals have a history of trading outfielders that are almost major leaguers before they get good, and they get good on other teams. Look, Randy Arozarena. Look, Adelise Garcia. So maybe Dylan Carlson will be the next in that line.
On the team too.
One other note I'll add on
Richie.
him. In 2021, he hit 18 home runs, 65 RBIs, and hit 266.
There we go. So we're looking for that for the second half of
So
Dale Carlson.
if we can bring that back.
Well, and also it's like Shawn Armstrong was a reliever that the Rays probably weren't going to bring back anyways. He's struggled. He's blown you a lot of games.
Yeah, his stuff's gone.
Yeah,
It's gone.
It was, and he upped his value by opening. He seemed to be. He was a different man when he was opening up. Like seriously, when he was the opener, he was special. It's like, what was it like when Shawn Armstrong was opening? It was special, man. And
It was special.
It was special.
Special.
But he upped his value, and to get a bat that can help you guys right now for Shawn Armstrong is like, that's pretty good. This was a buzzer beater trade right at the deadline.
My man finished third in Rookie of the Year voting in 2021.
Wow.
Yeah, like
Give
Joel
me that.
said, in 2021, 18 home runs, 65 RBIs. And really, that was his only full season. His other years have been cut short by a lot of injuries. So we're hoping that the past is the past. Those injuries are behind him, and he can really contribute for this Rays team.
That's so Rays, too. Like, maybe next year he's just going to pop off.
Maybe.
That's so Rays.
And maybe we'll have two former Cardinals on the team. Can't forget about Richie. That was a Cardinal as well.
Devil's advocate, though, the turf is not going to help his injuries.
That's an excuse by Kevin Kiermaier.
I've heard that in other places. Like all the football players.
We added new turf now, though.
All the football players of the 80s are like, yeah, turf
Yeah,
sucks.
because they played on carpet.
That's true. That's
They
true.
played
And
on
they talk about
carpet.
MetLife, but
That's
MetLife
true,
turf
that's true.
sucks.
But like the Rays, they added new turf. By the way, there's almond seeds in it and coconut shavings. It's state of the art. I remember hearing all about this. It's new turf.
Just for the sake of this rabbit trail, though, Carl Crawford wouldn't re-sign with the Rays when he was toward the end of his career because he didn't want to play on the turf.
Yeah, but now the turf is different.
They did change the turf.
They did change it.
They made a big deal
It's
about
like
it.
tomato, though. It's not
But
that
the
big-
coconut
that's not that
shells
much
and the almond seeds, it's really good difference.
Whatever.
Really
different, man.
You walk on it, it feels like a sponge.
I don't think I've walked on it. I haven't walked on it since the new
I'm
turf.
sure it feels the same way.
We shall see.
We're going to have to go to FanFest next year. to
Well,
find out.
FanFest, they put the little things on it.
Not everywhere.
Because it was
Well,
new.
okay, we'll
They're
go.
making it new. New turf.
Yeah, new turf is
Extra
better than
action
the
here
stretch.
about new
It's
turf.
basically like
New
real
turf is gonna
grass.
be the answer to Dylan Carlson's career.
Yes. He's going to be like, that turf saved me, man. That turf saved me. Tyler Zuber traded to the Mets for...
Paul Gervais, baby. Let me tell you, this is my farm update. This is my big trade. Let me tell you, we got a 6'10" demigod from Louisiana State University, the school of Livy Dunn, the school of Paul Skeens. Baby Gronk is a commit there, class of 2031. This guy is amazing. And we got that for Zuber?
I didn't
Really?
even know this guy was on our team.
Well, this was a trade. We just got
No,
him.
I'm saying, who the heck is Tyler Zuber?
He pitched like 3 innings.
He pitched a couple times.
Yeah.
But yeah, we get this guy. I mean, he can pitch for the Rays at 4 o'clock, hop on a bus, and go absolutely slam some dunks in Orlando. Get him a little 2-way deal. I mean, this guy's gonna be. I'm sitting here. I'm Jose Altuve. I'm 5'4", and I see 6'10" Paul Gervais on the mound.
It's got to
This
look
guy.
like he's placing...
Oh my
the
gosh,
ball
he's
in
a
the strike
giant.
It's
He's a
David Glove.
giant. Yes. Seriously, this guy is going to be dangerous. And you think of that length. I mean, he can just lean over and the ball's already over the plate. Like these guys are going to have no time to react to this. That long arm going up there. This is awesome.
Yeah.
But I'm not just making stuff up. This guy in the minors this year in the Mets has struck out 40% of his batters that he's faced. And on top of that, his batters have a 41% whiff rate against him. So this guy is the real deal. He's got some good stuff going for him. Don't sleep on the name Paul Gervais.
All right. There we go. That's all your trades. And I think we can talk games just a little bit. We'll go quick.
Just go quick. I don't even want to talk about it.
Well,
Do we gotta? Come on.
We got it.
I got to go to bed.
In case you missed it, last weekend the Rays took 2 out of 3 against the Cincinnati Reds at home. 3-2 loss on Friday, 4-0 win on Saturday, and then a 2-1 win on Sunday. Any thoughts on that series? I got a couple.
Zach Littell calmed my nerves. He looked very good, so I'll give
Exquisite.
him that much. I think, like I said, you should have swept Should have swept that series. That stupid loss in extras. You had plenty of chances to win that one. Who pitched that day?
The reason we lost that one is because I was there.
And it wasn't a Tuesday night.
Who's pitching on Friday? Was that
Shane Baz? That's a good
Shane Baz. Yeah, he actually
really
did.
Good.
Yeah, he did pretty good. 6 innings, 2 earned runs, only 2 hits as well.
And it was 2 earned runs.
You got to find a way to win that game,
Dude,
Reese.
the offense was
abysmal.
On like sleep pills in that game.
2 earned runs from Shane Baz in the first inning, and then 5 shutty to finish that off. And that was really good to see because after that first inning, after a couple kind of rough starts against the Yankees for Shane Baz, I was kind of like, I don't know, man. Is this guy ready for the majors? Are we kind of overrating him? Is he kind of, young Rays pitcher, losing the stuff, all that good stuff? Like can't control his stuff. Needs like a full year to kind of get into the mojo. But you saw what Shane Baz is about. The fastball was good, but his off speed and his slider were really good, and that was the key. He was able to get swing and miss because the game before he went 3 innings and he got 1 strikeout. And a bunch of base runners. And he got out of it with 0 earned runs because of some crazy double plays. But really good to see Shane Baz have a bounce-back start. Like Will said, Zach Littell, spectacular. This Rays pitching staff, for the most part, has just been so good the last month and a half. Really love to see that. And then you flip forward to Sunday while we're on the pitching, and that was a full bullpen day. And they didn't give up a single earned run. I mean, got to give some guys some flowers. Shawn Armstrong, 2 innings pitched his last start as a Ray, 3 hits allowed, 0 earned runs. Did give up an unearned run because of an Isak error. Rest in peace, Rays. Then, next 2 innings, you have Edwin Uceda, 1 hit, 4 strikeouts along 2 innings, 0 earned runs. Then Manrod goes an inning and gives up 0 hits, 0 walks, 1 strikeout. Tyler Zuber, the guy we traded, 2 innings of shutout ball. Garrett Clemenger for 1.
Thank
and
you
then
for your service.
So the Rays bullpen didn't give up an earned run on a full bullpen day against a solid Cincinnati Reds offense. That was impressive. Also impressive that Zach Littell went 7 the night before to help us set this bullpen up for success on Sunday. And that was a big win because if you guys aren't aware, the Rays were getting no hit and perfect game till about the 6th inning. And in the 8th inning, they had an improbable rally. They scored without getting the ball out of the infield.
I know. I was just about to bring that up.
Yeah, it was crazy.
That's what still gives me hope, despite the trades, despite how bad they've been. It still gives me hope you're finding ways to win games where it has not gone your way at all. Got no hit through most of this game, but you find a way to win. Your bullpen holds on. When the bats need it the most, the bullpen's holding on, locking it down for you. When the bullpen is struggling, can the hits produce for you? Can the pitchers go long for you? And so I was really happy about this win. Gives me hope.
Yeah, it was a crazy win. I think the story of the 2024 Rays now is they still have the talent. They have the pitching, most definitely. Will they be able to get big hits? They didn't get big hits here, but they got big at-bats, and they got a big walk and a big wild pitch. Won the game, and the pitching is good enough. And their pitching is going to be good enough to win you a lot of games going forward. You just have to be able to put up 3 to 4 runs, and you're going to win a lot of games. But if you're stuck at 1 or 2,
you can easily do that.
Yeah, you're stuck at 1 or 2, which the Rays have done plenty, then you're going to struggle. But 3 or 4 is going to win you a lot of games. The Rays have shown an ability to win close game after close game, and that's what kind of pulls me in with this team the most. Is that feels a little bit magical. It's like you sneak into the playoffs, and if you can win close games, you can succeed in the playoffs.
You're right there.
And you got pitching. That's just
You're right
there. So that's what's kind of pulling me in with these Rays. And that's what I saw in that last game against Cincinnati. They just found a way to win. It was crazy, but they found a way to win.
It might be like one of the wins we remember this year.
Could be. Trade deadline was looming, all that stuff.
It was a 2-game win streak.
It was
pretty big.
Playoffs or not, like we won a game with only an infield hit in the 9th.
Yeah, seriously.
We got 2 games above 500.
Yeah, we got 3 actually.
Well, at that point, it was 2. Yeah, that was a big barrier.
That
was a crazy day when we were 3 games above 500. I'll remember that.
Alex Jackson, Yandy Diaz, back-to-back home runs. They almost hit 4 back-to-back home runs in that game on Saturday against Andrew Abbott. It was pretty sick. And as we move forward to the Miami series, a 2-gamer citrus series, the Rays won the first game 9-3. Me and Joel were there, Tuesday night special. And then today I was there again.
I broke a 6-game Rays losing streak.
Wow. Good for you, Joel.
First win since like the first week of May. And you want to know why I broke that streak? It's because the Rays. You go look at what I said the record is on Tuesdays on your
11-6.
The Rays are 11-6 on Tuesday nights. So if you want to go see a Rays win, go on a Tuesday night.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. They lost today. Noon game on Wednesday.
Because it was
6-2.
Wednesday.
Yeah, there's no denying the truth.
A sneaky Wednesday early game tends to be a loss, actually.
It's
Yeah.
like, we didn't wake up for that game. Sorry.
Also, the Rays would have meant the Rays won all 4 against the Marlins, and they don't sweep people over 4 games, so that was obvious. Yeah. But Taj Bradley got roughed up today. Unfortunate.
Yeah.
4 runs given up, a big blast to Jake Berger. That was kind of unfortunate, but it's like it was bound to happen. I honestly had a feeling it was going to happen today. I was like,
everybody's due for a bad start.
Yeah.
It is just
he was on a
odds
crazy
of baseball.
scoreless inning streak.
Yeah, he was actually. I was just about to say that his 24-inning, 0 earned run streak had finally ended today. Unfortunately,
It's just sad it had to be against Miami. It's like, come on, do that against the Yankees. It'll make more sense.
It makes me feel a little bit better that it was against Miami.
I'd rather have it not for the Yankees. They would have.
Taj Bradley, he thrives off the big game energy.
The Yankees are living the past. You'd have heard about how they broke Taj Bradley's earned run streak like 30 years from now.
That's true.
The game we went to, awesome 6th inning rally by the Rays. They were down 3-1 heading into that inning. Chris Morel has hit a home run in both these Miami games, by the way. We already said that. But
It brought good morality to the team.
the morale of the story is the Rays are back.
Morality. That's a good hashtag, Joel.
Thank you.
Write that down. Write that down.
But the Rays were able to take a 6-3 lead after being down 3-1 with 4 2-out runs. 2 off Ben Rortvedt. Huge hit by Ben Rortvedt. And then Yandy Diaz got into the fun. So that was good to see that rally. In that game, Josh Lowe, this is important. 2 for 5 yesterday and 2 for 3 today.
In today's game, they were trying to tickle the game watchers' taste buds. They were like, if he gets a triple in the 9th inning, he'll be the first Ray ever to have 3 triples in a game. I was like, why'd you got to tell me that?
DeLuca.
Oh, sorry.
But Josh Lowe.
White guy, outfield.
Yeah, true. Handsome.
Yeah, he's not just any white guy in the outfield.
But anyways, Josh Lowe, these last 2 months have to be your last 2 months. He's struggled. He's hitting about 220. He's had so many tough at-bats. It seems like anytime the bases are loaded with 2 outs, anytime there's a runner in scoring position, it's Josh Lowe, and he's striking out. And we know Josh Lowe has the potential to not do that. He had a great season last year, and he's shown flashes this year. With Randy gone, with less competition, with more opportunities to play every day, this is a time where we need to see Josh Lowe in his prime form. We need to see, the ability to hit the doubles, to make contact on the high pitches, to strike out less, and to get those big blasts. I don't remember the last time I saw a Josh Lowe home run. I think it was Pittsburgh. So, Josh Lowe, really looking for a big end of the season for him. It's going to be the key.
And we're going to need him.
We're going to need him. I mean, it's going to be, if we don't get 2023 Josh Lowe, we're not sniffing the playoffs.
Here's a question. When do we give up on Josh Lowe?
We still got a year or 2 before we give up on Josh Lowe.
Because I'm wondering, because like Austin Meadows, we kind of gave up on him pretty quick.
I think we have more control with Josh Lowe because he's our own prospect.
Yeah.
First round draft pick, 2016.
Yeah. We got more control with him. So,
Man, and he's just
so handsome.
So handsome.
I mean,
you got to keep him around.
Austin Meadows may have been more handsome.
No. Whoa.
Austin Meadows was better, but he was not more handsome. But Austin Meadows was so good.
He was. But then we gave up on him pretty quick. He is a free agent after the 2029 season. So, yeah.
Plenty of time.
We got time.
Package him and Morel.
I'm getting impatient, though.
I got to tell you a joke off air.
Okay. Other notes. Oh, we'll predict.
I mean, well, hey, we forgot about Jeffrey Springs, man. He made his first start.
Shoot, you're right.
His debut back since injury was April 13th, the last time you saw him pitch. I remember that day. It was to keep the Rays' winning streak alive to start the season last year, and he goes out, and it was one of the old classics. Oh, it was just his elbow felt, or his wrist felt funny or something. Hard. He'll be back, and bam, Tommy Johns. But anyways, this is my guy. This is my superstar. He's my Jacob deGrom. He's my Cy Young. He came back. He went 3 2/3, gave up 2 earned runs, 5 hits, 3 strikeouts, 1 walk. What more could you ask for? Okay,
solid.
It was solid. I mean, and I know you go, well, he gave up 5 hits in 3 2/3. It's kind of a lot. Yeah, but I mean, it didn't really hurt him. He gave up 1 home run and it gave 2 runs. Outside of that, he was okay, and I think he could have gone longer. It would have been just fine. He wouldn't give up anything else. So, what more could you have asked for? That was a very solid start, in my opinion.
First big league start in over a year. Bunch of rehabs, but you're back on a big league mound. It's nothing like it, and he did solid. Like Will said, I'm looking for him to spring into a new form in his next upcoming starts.
No, that one didn't work.
Oh,
I liked it. I liked it because I liked it better because what was the Rays thing?
Rays up.
Springs has sprung or something like that.
No, it was something that didn't even make sense. I can try to find it here, but I was like, all right, Rays, you missed with that one. You missed with that one, Rays. Let me see if I can find it here.
I'm on the
just keep
the free agency page right now. He's a free agent after the 2027 season.
We actually he's signed to an actual contract.
Hey, he's gonna win a Cy Young next year. Best believe. Thank you, Shawn Armstrong. Springs on him.
No, yeah.
I was like,
not good.
That's kind of mid. That was a miss.
Springs.
Rare Rays postseason miss.
Him?
Or Twitter
Springs
miss.
on him.
Springs on him.
I don't get it.
Yeah, it's not good.
It's not good.
I was just curious if there was something stupid.
Yeah, that's a Twitter miss for the Rays, unfortunately.
But yeah, looking ahead, we got Rays baseball.
Gets a little tough.
A little bit of a tough road trip, but a winnable one. The Rays have 3 games in Houston. On Friday, we will have Shane Baz against Yusei Kikuchi, new Astros pickup. That guy owns us. That might not be good. Saturday, Zach Littell versus Ronel Blanco. Sunday,
cheater.
Eric Getty versus probably Jeffrey Springs. No, that actually will either be a bullpen day or a Ryan Pepio day, depending on how he's feeling. Then the Rays have St. Louis.
It might be superpower Pepio.
Spider-Man Pepio day.
Yeah, I can't believe I was wrong on that. I was like, I guarantee it's MRSA. A spider bite and got hospitalized?
That's crazy.
Whoa. Can we get like some info on that? What kind of spider was it? Can he sling webs? Does he?
Is he in Queens at night?
Yeah, is he in Queens? Does he date Zendaya now?
Did his uncle die?
Yeah, keep his uncle safe. Protect him. Don't let him go out late at night for a jog. Keep that man indoors.
Does Willem Dafoe like him or not like him? Yeah, that's funny.
Does he have an arch nemesis who is in a green suit and commits terrorism?
Is he bad at dancing?
Oh, that's a good reference.
I thought he was kind of good at dancing, episode 3. Are we talking about Tobey Maguire?
I didn't think it was good dancing. Rays also play the Cardinals for 3. Who do we see here? We see Sonny Gray versus Jeffrey Springs.
Sonny Gray looks like an alien.
Versus Taj Bradley. And Kyle Gibson versus Shane Baz. So with some good pitching matchups. A 6-game road trip. I'm going to say the Rays go 4-2. I'm also going to say Dylan Carlson hits a home run in his old stadium in St. Louis. Bang!
I was trying to find his name because I was going to say he's going to go off this series.
Look, I'm going to go negative because sometimes I think that fires a team up in just the way they need and they go off. I'm going to say 2-4 because I'm very scared of Houston, and I think they're just going to play bad there. I don't like playing in Texas. I wish we didn't have to play in Texas anymore. I'm going to be quite honest with that.
Houston's all right for us. I recall
the
biggest
did we get blown out last year like 22 to
we won that series.
That was
we won that series.
We did win. And that was Littell. That was when Littell shined. But still, it scares me. It scares me.
Again.
Chris Paul moments. That's when we kind of started doing that. With the Wander Franco home run.
I either want to go right down the middle or positive.
But yeah, let me just get my home run pick in. I'm saying 2-4, and give me a Deluxe, big Deluxe.
He's been swinging the bat well since Randy got traded. Really well, looking pretty good.
I'm gonna go. I've been positive today. I'll go positive. I'm gonna go 5-1.
Oh,
You better book it.
Whoa.
I'm gonna go positive. Is it gonna bite me in the butt? Yeah, but you know what?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe this is when you've switched like the cycle, and you're right now. Now you have to be positive forever.
I went to a Rays win this week.
Wow.
Like we got good moral on the team. The rest of the season is no biggie. Like it's
Joel loves a pun.
It's midnight. It's August 1st. Like it's a whole new world right now. So I'm gonna go 5-1, and Ben Wright vet's gonna give me a home run.
All right, there we go.
Big Ben.
Big Ben. Another miscellaneous note: Suapita, Bucs right guard, who was trying to compete
left guard
trying to compete for the starting spot towards ACL. So it looks like Ben Brenderson will for sure be your Bucs left guard starting the season.
Yeah, that really stinks with the injury. You hate to see it, but like I said, let's just hope Brenderson is the right guy for the job, and the Bucs have no issues on the offensive line. Servace Dennis, Todd Bowles say he's going to be a big part of that defense, so I really hope that happens. I'll be right about another thing.
Every time I open up Instagram, I just see a Baker Mayfield touchdown pass to Jalen McMillan.
Yeah, Jalen McMillan went off. They had like a late night practice. Bucks after dark.
That's awesome.
Which is sick. I wish I could go to that.
That's awesome.
If they do season ticket holders only. Sorry, call me a broke boy. I don't have season tickets. I wish I could get back into training camp.
It'd be cool if they like standing room only or something. It's like the standing room only season tickets. You can come too.
Exactly. Like just give me a media pass. I will behave myself. I promise.
I'll be a good boy.
I'll only try to smooch Baker maybe like one time. Maybe one time. But yeah, McMillan has been turning heads like everywhere.
Called it.
This is crazy. Yeah, this is unprecedented. Colby might be getting a huge I called it moment later on the season. Let's hope so. Yaya Diaby is looking phenomenal, apparently. Man, this season's ramping up. It's
preseason's in a couple weeks.
Well, believe it or not, if you were watching this today as of August 1st, there is a football game today.
Wow.
That is right.
Hall of Fame game?
There is a Hall of Fame game today. I believe it's on NBC. They have the rights. You will be seeing the Bears, as Caleb Williams would say, is his zesty,
just keep going.
His zesty self. But he's not playing, unfortunately. He's not playing the game. Tyson Bagent will get the start. Who do the Bears play? I can't believe this.
Texans.
Is it the Texans? That's going to be a fun game, guys. I would definitely tune in. But yeah, football's here, man. It is here. I love preseason. I really do. It's fun to see some of these guys get some starts. I love it.
I need football. So
I'm kind of a hater on preseason football.
My thing is, I hate spring training. I love preseason.
Really? I prefer spring training to preseason football. I'm not going to lie.
I'll take them both. Get the sport back. Like, come on.
Let's get back to this. Going to games for spring training, of course. Probably not so much preseason because like you pay $40 to see a game that doesn't count. But with like the Rays,
dude. To another preseason game though? Is it a TV tradition?
Yeah,
well, maybe we should go to a real game though this year and start a tradition.
Oh, we got to.
I'm already going to like the first 3 weeks. I think. I think I might be going like first 3 weeks so far. But the Atlanta trip sounds intriguing.
Oh yeah, we
Atlanta trip
for sure. Got
Monday night Ravens. That would be pretty fun to go to.
That'll be expensive, but I'll put some.
We'll see.
For some electricity.
But yeah, as far as like spring training, because like Rays get messed up and it makes me angry. And turns out this year like I had a right to be worried after seeing some of their spring training games, but. Preseason, I like seeing young stars get a chance. Like, it's fun to see Kyle Trask. Like, does he still have it? Also, that's another huge story that's going on right now. Kyle Trask might be the third string going out to start the season. John Walford is competing for that spot heavily. This is per the big guys from Pewter Report, because I guess what John Walford has is he was in that system with Cohen in L.A., I don't want to see that. Please, Kyle Trask, come on, lock in, pal. Lock in. We need you. If Baker goes down, if our sweet prince goes down, we need you. So, yeah, that's some interesting notes.
You guys know how I feel about Kyle Trask. I won't say anything else.
I hate the Gators, and I like Kyle Trask.
I love Kyle Trask.
I love him, man. One of my favorite college players of all time. I love him.
I mean, like, if for him to be a starter, he has to go somewhere else. I'll let him go.
Bucky Irving's looking good too.
Ooh, again, called that one too.
He's looking real good.
Yeah,
These Pac-12 guys, man.
electric. Yeah, but I mean, I guess is that all we got?
The Olympics is going on. The Olympics is going on.
USA beat South Sudan today in basketball.
Yeah.
I don't think I've heard a single positive thing about the Olympics, so that's
Oh yeah, we shouldn't talk about the
Not
Olympics.
we're not getting
political
political here.
No, never mind.
nope.
That was
Olympics.
TB3 episode 49. Thank you guys for watching. Comment your thoughts down below on the trade. Maybe give us a grade of the Rays trade deadline as a whole. If you're on YouTube, like and subscribe and comment what we just said. Spotify, hit the 5 stars, hit the follow button. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Thank you guys for listening and have a beautiful and blessed night.